Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Junkyard Digs. Today you join myself, Angus, and this 1986, 84, I don't remember either. Anyway, this mid-80s Ford truck back in the shop once again. If you guys saw a previous episode here on the channel, you saw that we pulled the original 300 inline 6 out of this and dropped in a 302 I had laying around. However, unfortunately, as we came to find out, that motor that we put all that effort into was no good. So today we're on a mission to find another 302 to take this one's place, put it right there in the truck, and finally put this thing back on the road where it belongs. We got a lot of work to do and very little time to do it, so let's get to it. Angus, you ready for the same episode we made last time, but again this time?
I walked in here and I'm like, man, what a piece of junk. Who did all this garbage? It was us. We did all this garbage.
So, as I mentioned, if you guys for some reason happen to not see the last episode on this truck, this is a 302 that we had laying around in a shed. We had originally intended to put a boat motor we had laying around in here.
Yep.
But that motor was completely frozen and cracked in half. This one we thought wasn't. However, unfortunately, I believe the number 2 cylinder, if I remember right, has 0 PSI.
Yep.
And it is completely junk and runs like crap. So, despite all that effort, we get to do it all over again.
Yep.
And this time, we have, well, supposedly another good motor. Since we're still just as much of a couple cheap asses as we were the first time we did this, we're going to try the same thing again. We'll just take, once again, another boat motor from a $400 boat with supposedly a good 302, pull that out of this boat and put it in the truck. So we're basically reverting back to the original plan, but in like a secondary form.
I don't know if our engine hoist is going to lift this thing out of here, dude.
Oh no, this isn't about lifting things out. This is about removing the boat from around the motor.
Oh, I should have worn long pants. This is going to be an itchy day, isn't it? Did not see that one coming.
New shower curtain for you.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so rotten. Oh. Look at that.
Well, there you go. If any of you online was wondering why we're tearing up a perfectly good boat,
We're not. We're tearing up a rotten, destroyed boat.
Alright, let's get this lower end out of our way just so we don't have to walk around it. This fin is actually kind of sharp.
Oh, we're gonna need this. Powered by Mercruiser, 188 horsepower.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta somehow save this tag. That has to go on the truck.
Alright, I'm ready to ask nicely, but only the once. There, I asked nicely. Look how easy that was.
You can do it, son.
Thanks, Dad.
Huzzah. It's open.
You're gonna scratch the skeg, dog. Alright. Oh, somebody got fiberglass on your drive shaft. Cool. Well, there's our gimbal bearing and all that.
Wonder if this engine turns over.
That'd be a good thing to find out.
Well, I'll tell you what, we gotta take it out of the boat anyway. So
Yeah,
something we need done regardless. Oh, Lord. Okay, so usually we want these boat motors because they're really low hours, like 150, 300 hours. Boats don't get used much before they die. This one, take a guess.
25.
25 hours?
Yeah. No, 250 hours. 500. 1,000? It's above 1,000.
1,154 hours. This has to be the highest mileage boat I've ever seen.
Somebody got their money's worth out of it.
When I bought it, the guy said he took it to a marina, and the marina said the engine's good, but the boat's pretty shit. I can't help but agree. So, yeah, hopefully this motor's good. Well, the carburetor was good. Let's, pop a couple linkages off, pop our main 4 bolts, and just pull this whole thing right out.
Yep.
Honestly, we probably could have just lifted. You know what's good when it's rusted in half? That means all the wood down there is in great shape.
Oh, I forgot they hold these in place with lag bolts.
Lag bolts and gravity, and the transom. The fiberglass is doing a lot in a boat. All right, get the tensile tester hooked up. Let's see what we forgot, or see what we didn't care about, and we can now cut. There's one bolt that was stuck on that side, so it should rip out any moment now. There we go.
Hey, there's the moment.
There we go. We're free. Let's get this inside and once again convert it over to go in a truck. This time should be a lot simpler. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right, new donor motor is inside, which means it's time to take our old motor outside of the engine bay. This feels familiar. I feel like I've recently seen this movie.
Yeah, weeks ago though.
We're real good at this. We should maybe compression test the new one before we put it in.
Why?
You know what? You got a good point. Okay. Let's start unplugging shit.
All right, radiator's coming out. There we go. Boom. Radiator's out of the truck again.
And our power steering is off. Fuel lines are off. Coolant lines are off. Electrical's off. Oh, hang on. Ooh, that's still good. There. I think we are good to go on top. It's time to get this thing in the air and do our mounts and everything underneath. That was fast.
Well, that's the last of them. Bell housing bolts are out. Motor mount bolts are off. Good.
We're ready to come out?
I think so.
Hell yeah. That was fast as heck. I think it's only been 35 minutes.
We are the fastest at pulling 302s out of this truck.
Still feels quite attached. It does not only go the transmission. There it goes. I thought it was all nice and freshly painted and clean. Wow.
I can't believe it's garbage.
I know, right? You would have never thought. Let's put all that paint on it. Alright. 2 engines, both pulled before lunch. Productive day here at the shop. Alright, let's go get some tacos and then come back from lunch and make all the good parts from this, go onto that one, and hope that it's good. And then we'll do it again next week with a fourth 302. I quit counting. Alright, so as you can see, both motors are out, which means now it is time to swap all the goodies we put on this one onto our new motor for the truck. Starting with, well, not actually the flywheel. We don't need this flywheel. This is a 50-ounce flywheel. That is a non-roller engine. It will be balanced with 28-ounce external balance. Now, hopefully, like all other marine engines we've come across, that engine actually has a manual transmission flywheel on it when it's in the boat. So we should be able to use that just fine, to my knowledge. Even though we don't need this flywheel, it does still have to come off because I need this plate right here behind it to help line up our starter. And if I remember right from, not long ago, I left myself a message back here, which probably in hindsight caused all of our problems. There we go. There it is. Back so soon, Junkyard Digs, 25. I didn't put the month because I thought it would be more than at least a month before anyone was back in here. I guess I should have put even the day. It's still the same month. All right, we got our new donor motor strung up here. I got a battery hooked up to it. It's time to crank this thing and see how it sounds. See if we have any dead holes or see if we got ourselves a good motor. Ready?
Ready.
I mean, it sounds weird, but
It's not going to...
exactly, it's like it's got a harder spot in the whole rotation, not so much a dead hole. All right, all set for compression test. Here we go. This is number 4. 150 on the nose. That starter sounds real unhappy. Number 3. 150 psi. So far, so good. And this is a very, very dry compression test. We've put no oil down the cylinders, and this hasn't ran since a couple years, I was last told. The trailer's last tagged for 2016, but they said a few years ago when they got the boat, they had a marina go through it, and the marina said it was a good motor, and it's sat since then, and was winterized. Little weaker on 2, down to 120. That could be a valve, it might clear up, you never know. That or my battery's dying. Personally, I like the battery dying theory.
Yep.
Buck 30 on number 1. All still very healthy enough cylinders. All right, number 5. 100. Not phenomenal, but again, very dry engine right now. Get a little oil on these pistons, they might be totally different numbers. Number 6. I think our battery's dying.
I'm willing to believe that too.
Yep. Number 7. Well, that one made 120, so maybe I just didn't have it in there all the way, you know?
It's hard to say with these testers.
Yeah. And number 8. That one's very healthy. I bet if we get this thing running and do a compression test again after 10 minutes of running, they would all be 150 all the way across the board.
I mean, it's a heck of a lot better than 0.
Yeah, no kidding. Looking at you. All right, let's get all this boat stuff stripped off this thing. Move our fancy serpentine and everything from the last video over here. Get it ready to go in. All right, one of the first things here are bell housing. Not gonna be needing this.
Up here ripping all of our heater hoses off, or our coolant hoses really. You could save these, they got fancy bends in them we can use for other projects. Like a boat.
Okay, so we just took the bolts for the flywheel out. I mean, I guess they're drilled all the way through.
I'd have to think so.
Why have we never seen this before? Well, that's one way to do an oil change, huh? Tell you what, not a milkshake.
That's true.
So things could be worse. Motor doesn't seem to be cracked, from what we can tell. Good compression, and the oil's good enough. Look at that. Look how nice that is. All right, motor is up on the engine stand, as you can see. Time to take off the single heaviest piece of this entire engine, and that is the exhaust manifolds. Jesus. That has to be 110 pounds.
Scrap guy's gonna be real happy.
Scrap guy's gonna be pissed. Why do they keep throwing away all this heavy shit? Fun thing we've determined at this point, all the 302 Marine engines have 351 Windsor heads from 1970, which is a pretty darn good head. I think these ones are actually still good. I might hang on to these. God forbid I ever have to buy a pair for something. There's easily enough in a free boat to get all your money back. I mean, it was $200 to scrap the boat, but I'm sure we can sell that trailer for $300. Those manifolds we just took off right there are probably worth $200-300 bucks. A lot of marine parts on here we don't need for what we're doing that boat people will pay way too much money for. Okay, pull off all our accessories and our intake, and then somewhere along that line clean everything up as well. All right, there we go. Water pump is off. That's looking good. Angus is currently knocking out a frost plug because a couple of these have been replaced and they weren't in there very good, so we figured we would pop them out, flush the block out, get any sand and shit from the lake out of it, and then replace them. But actually, as they came out, they weren't as corroded as I thought they would be. So regardless, we're gonna replace them right here.
One thing we also noticed, taking all this, water jacket stuff off, there's pink antifreeze in here, which means this was winterized with RV antifreeze, which is actually what you're supposed to do if your boat's gonna sit.
They really did take this to somewhere and have it ran, confirmed good, and winterized, so that's good to see. All right, let's go get some of these ordered up and get this thing pressure washed inside and out and prepare for reassembly. All right, Angus is washing off our gimbal housing and other components we salvaged from the boat. I'm gonna start our motor down. All right, let that sit and we'll get to washing. Out the block with this and the regular garden hose, and we'll be back for a little paint. Oh yeah, all sorts of sand deposits and stuff getting knocked loose. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this up for a bit until all the rust stops coming out, and then we'll get some new frost plugs in it and get some paint on these heads and get this sucker dressed up and ready to go. Accessories coming off the old new motor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who tightened this? What a jerk.
No, neither of us? You? I don't know.
It was me. With a 12-foot breaker bar.
Apparently. Anyway, yeah, Angus is dealing with that. I am over here trying to figure out what's going on with our clutch and stuff again because, again, if you saw the last episode, you know that that's a roller motor with a 50-ounce balance. So is that one. This boat motor is going back to a 28 ounce balance, the older balance on the non-roller blocks. Now, the clutch, no problem. I can put that on either, it doesn't matter. However, this flywheel, as you may note, is only just over 13 inches across, whereas this one's 14. This is a bigger flywheel. That's 164 tooth, this is 157. Truck, car. This is actually out of the boat, hence the paint. But I could use this, however I need a new clutch. So I either got to make the call to clean this up and use this flywheel and buy a new clutch that's a 10 or a 10.5, or buy another flywheel that we can reuse this clutch on and not have to buy a new clutch that is in 28 ounce, not 50. Okay, a little more research here. I have my answer. So, a 10 or a 10.5 inch clutch is what's factored in a Mustang of the era. Or rather, this one's $153 for a new clutch that would go on our boat flywheel. Meanwhile, they have a 28 ounce flywheel that is $119. So hilariously, the proper 164 tooth 11 inch flywheel, or 14 inch, whatever the hell it is, yeah, 14.238 inch flywheel is cheaper than the clutch for the Mustang. So we're getting the truck parts, which is good because, as you may notice, it is a truck.
I heard this heat was stroking people. I'm people.
You know, we didn't put a ton of miles on it, but our fix seemed to have held.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this kind of worked out. I almost forgot that we did this.
We ended up, I think in the last video we said we put a stud there, but it immediately snapped off camera. So we ended up putting a bolt all the way through the hole and then putting a nut on the bottom, as you can see. So yeah, it seemed to seal just fine. It never leaked.
And then we double nutted it.
Yeah, yes, we
because
did.
we're secure as heck.
Yay!
Yay! Surely that was untorqued correctly.
Now to get a 302 intake off, the best thing to do is take a pry bar right here. Yeah. And just pop her up.
I shall be the crane. As the crane says.
Yay!
Ta-da!
What do you say we take this head off and see what the hell went wrong?
Hey, sneeze. Oh, it's gone.
Here, I'll get you going again.
No. What is this?
Wow.
That was something.
That sounded like it was bolted down. Well, at least start here, just in case we ever need these broken heads again. Out of principle. Do it right out of principle. How about that?
I would rather not, but alright. Whoa! Alright. Head time, please. Please.
Cylinder head, I guess you have to specify. Okay. What's our bet? Cracked piston? Number 2 is the dead hole, right?
Thought so.
Number 3 ate something.
That's exciting.
It ate number 2? No, actually that was 7. But he ate 9. I was figuring we had a cracked piston due to the amount of blow-by coming out, but alas, it looks fine, question mark. The head gasket also doesn't look particularly blown. You actually see all these little bits of metal here. Whatever the hell it was is still there. So, valve?
Ah,
there
that'll do it.
That'd be the whoosh, 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 whoosh that we heard on every stroke. And again, this cylinder ate something. But this one did not. So, turns out, it's just a bad valve the whole time. We could have put heads on this and it still would have ran. She's pretty well worn out, regardless, because I can basically see my reflection in those cylinder walls. But
It'd be a good 302 roller block for somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody else.
So for $5,000, it can be yours.
We'll sign it.
No, I'm not gonna.
Let's pull the other head, just the hell of it.
Yeah.
Oh! Hey, how'd you have any compression in the cylinder?
You know, we had a theory that we were missing compression on something else.
Holy shit!
Oh no! Turns out the other one, that was the good one. I figured out what got into the other cylinder. This cylinder. There is an amount of piston missing off that.
So is that the ring?
This would be the ring land would have cracked. You can see head gaskets never went, actually.
Good job.
Head gaskets are good.
So 3, 8, 9.
I think 8 ruined 3.
I think 3, 8, 8.
Eated 8.
Oh, 8 got 8.
3 got 8.
308.
7.
29.
12.
God, even that cylinder head here is real bad. The valves are still good though, unlike this guy over here. That means we have a damaged piston, a broken exhaust valve, and a missing piston. We've got 3 damaged cylinders, 2 dead ones.
Well, it still ran better than that 300.
It's true. It's not fixed, but it was different. Throw this thing out on the curb and get the new one in here.
Yeah.
The new one. Maybe we bore scope that motor.
Why?
Yeah, you got me there. Bueno.
Bueno, new frost plugs are in, RTV'd in place and all.
The boys scuffed up the heads this morning, got a bunch of rust off, a lot of scaling off up there. Next we have a quick degrease and we're ready for some paint on this. Make it look all one color again. I think someone's definitely, we've mentioned it before, but I'm pretty sure someone's absolutely been into the top of this motor before, because these look like they were hot tanked and then never repainted. And that's why they're rusty.
Also, there's huge globs of red RTV on the intake.
Exactly. Small indicator there that someone's been in. Here you go, Mr. Engine. Receive the paint you should have got years ago. Let that dry, pop the intake off, and convert it to a 4-barrel the way God intended.
Absolutely.
Darn right. Let's do it. All right, been a little bit. Our new harmonic is on. Our distributor is out. Angus has got the intake unbolted. Let's see how this thing is inside. Oh, yep. Clean as a whistle. Look at that. Hell yeah, that's what we like to see. That was under the valve covers. Ugh. Also, very nice. And once again, 351 Windsor heads. All right, let's get this sucker cleaned up. Ready for the 4-barrel.
All right, we've got our intake gaskets installed with RTV on both sides. Time to drop our manifold on very carefully. No pressure, everybody. Well, it's on there. Hopefully the bolts line up. Now, I know we mentioned this in the last video because we did this exact same thing, but on these small block Fords, one thing you have to keep in mind when putting a new intake on is the bolts go straight down. And that's gonna mean, as you tighten it down, it's gonna walk this intake all over the place. So do a lot of passes when you're doing your torque specs. All right, I'm gonna throw all the bolts in there, start getting it snugged down so that RTV can start setting up. And in the meantime, we'll move on to our valve covers and water pump.
All right, once again, it's been a few minutes. As you can see, we've got all of our accessory drive on the front. Everything is good to go there. We're moving on to the back, where we will be remembering to install this guy. As you may remember, I left us a little message last time. I have updated the message this time. Back so soon, again, Junkyard Digs 25. Crossed out the old motor specs and put, nope, that one died. And now it is a Marine 302, a Merc 188. This is a 164 tooth spacer plate. It moves where this hole sits that aligns the starter. All you have to do is remember to put this on, and then you'll be graced with never having to have shims, and thus it'll never sound like a Chevy out of shim. So with that in place, we'll take our new 28-ounce flywheel. Yeah, simply put him in place. Take some bolts with thread locker. With that done, we're going to torque these to 85 foot-pounds, align and install our 11-inch clutch. And with that, we are ready to drop this sucker in the truck. All right, there we go. We got ourselves our new clutch installed, a new flywheel, our engine plate, 4-barrel intake, Pertronics ignition, serpentine setup, new harmonic balancer, and some fresh paint. Our Merc Cruiser 188 302 cubic inch engine is looking better than ever. And now that it has a 4-barrel, on paper, according to Merc Cruiser themselves, this should be like 235 horsepower. And that's with boat, log manifolds, so yep. 245 horse for $400.
And 7 weeks of work?
Easy. It wasn't 7 weeks this time. We started this yesterday morning with the 302 in the truck and this in the boat. It is now 4 o'clock, the next normal 8-hour workday, and we're dropping this in. Should have this running by 5, should be pretty easy. Well, that'll never happen unless we don't put it in, so in we go. In we go. In we go. Like that here. All in one go. All in one go. All right, there we go. Give her a shove. Oh, it's good in there.
Yeah, looks just like the last one.
No. That one had good valve covers. There we go. Looking good.
Looking good. Hey!
There we go. With a little TV magic, you can make aligning any transmission look easy. All right, she's sitting pretty. Let's go ahead and get all of our electrical connections, hoses, and bolts in place. Fire this sucker up. Should only be a few minutes. We're pretty, well practiced at this point. Oh,
Boy, that's the sound of practice.
but you can always use more practice. The last few components here. Carburetor,
Radiator.
radiator. There we go. Sweet. Let's get this thing plumbed up, filled up, and fired up. All right. You know what? I liked the gold valve covers, but the black valve covers, I'm going to say it, they look much better. Especially when you see that little mercury badge hiding back there. So yeah, there we go. Everything's wrapped up. We got our coolant system filled, brand new oil filter, fresh oil change, plugs are in. Everything's hooked up good to go, but we are missing one major component, you may notice. There's no manifolds on this one, and that's because I hit up Summit Racing and bought myself some headers for this truck.
Heck yeah.
She's getting long tubes. They sound great? Question mark? Played the rude sandstorm.
I don't know how that goes. Here's Wonderwall. I don't know how Wonderwall goes. Anyway, let's put these in.
Yeah, great idea. Actually, it looks like there's enough room to maybe even go in from above. This will be a pretty easy install.
Sorry, say that again? I can't hear you.
These look like they would go.
That works. That does work.
Speaking of this end, as you may notice, this is something to keep in mind that I've learned the hard way when buying header. This is not your normal flat gasketed flange. This is a ball and socket, and what this allows you to do is have 1,000 times more ease and flexibility when installing your headers. One second, I'll show you how. These Hedman headers are made in the USA, and honestly a very good product. I like them a lot, especially because of this design right here. This is a ball, this is a socket, and these go together. You can angle this however you want to help fit into whatever exhaust system you have behind it. If you have a straight flange, like a normal header, it bolts with these, two of these face to face with a gasket in between, and you get perfectly straight, and that's it.
Apart from that, if you've ever tried to make collector seals seal forever,
Nightmare.
if there's even slightly a bend in your exhaust or a hanger loosens up, they can just start leaking. I've
yeah.
never had a collector that doesn't leak.
Except for these. So yeah, thank you Summit Racing for selling us these awesome set of Hedman headers, and thank you Hedman for building these. I'd like to say we paid full price for these, but no. I utilized the Summit Racing summer discount, which I think now has expired. But if you guys keep an eye on their website and follow them on Instagram, you will see when they have all sorts of deals available. And you too can save some money. All right, let's get these suckers in place.
I can hear the ocean from here.
No, that's just the horsepower you hear, son.
Actually, I think it's the fan in the background.
All right, Angus, insert performance.
Okay. Sorry, I was leaning on something funny. It was my body.
Oh, scratching our sticker. Hey, hey, hey. Man, there's a lot of wiggle room in this truck if you can stick those in from above.
Yes, there is.
Oh, look at that. That looks so much better than boat headers.
Heck yeah, it does.
I don't know why you ever suggested we leave the log manifolds on for the boat
I never
headers.
once suggested
That was
that.
a dumb idea.
I didn't say that.
This is starting to look like an actual performance engine by now. Alright, last couple bolts here. Don't mind the sweat dripping off my head. It's 105 in Iowa today. It's been so hot this summer. We've gotten so much rain. It's been so humid. And I apologize, we haven't had a video in a little bit. Mook and I went on a quick vacation in the 98 before the little one's born. And then we got back to see that the shop had flooded. So we've been very busy cleaning for the last couple weeks. Didn't lose anything though, so that's good. It just got muddy. Regardless, that right there is the last bolt on the headers, which means it's time now for our favorite part. Right here, a real 302 that potentially has all the cylinders and valves this time.
Oh, yeah.
I think we are one off on our cap. Alright, that'll give me a whole extra post worth of timing. Okay. Okay. that is the loudest engine we've ever ran on the channel, period. I can still hear my head ringing.
You can hear?
How is the oil pressure?
What?
How is the oil pressure?
I love brakes! Oh yeah, that was real good.
Finally, a healthy 302. Clearly we have some tuning to do. I'm not entirely convinced I don't have two of those plug wires mixed up, but it didn't really seem to care at higher RPM, so hell yeah. Let's see if we can get her at idle. That's 15 degrees. Listen to that thing's job. Carburetor's from. I don't trust it that much, but hey, the motor seems very happy.
It's got great oil pressure.
Great oil pressure. It do like no blow by as well. The slightest little puff. We did boroscope it off camera. There is the slightest bit of rust still residing in those cylinders, which is probably gone now. So the rings are only going to get better for a little bit. Let's try her one more. Let me play with the mixture screws. Go ahead. Good enough to justify a good carburetor. So I think we're gonna come back tomorrow with one of those and see if we can get this thing to do. I don't know where this weird up and down low-P stuff is all about. Picking up and dropping cylinders, it's weird. The other motor did that too, but in a much different manner. All right, back in the morning, put a new carb on, get this running good, finish the exhaust, and go for a drive. Real quick, a 60-second pause to talk about the sponsor of today's video. Today's sponsor is the oldest single sponsor of the channel, and that is Raycon and their everyday earbuds. Now, you may notice the set of Raycons I'm holding in my hand right here are quite dusty, dirty, and grimy to say the least. These suckers are almost 8 years old and they still work flawlessly. They still seamlessly connect to my phone, have an excellent battery life, and still sound incredible. Now, ever since the original everyday earbud, Raycon has come out with a number of different variations, each with improved technology, but sometimes you just gotta respect the classic, and that's exactly what Raycon thought as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the all-new, as you've known it before, Raycon Classics. These are just like the original Everydays, but with more features, including noise canceling stuffed into that familiar, slim, sleek carrying case that you guys know and love. The earbuds themselves still use a gel comfort tip, they still have perfect seamless connectivity, they still boast 8 hours of battery life and 32 hours of playtime when charging with their portable charging case. The charging case itself has been updated to USB-C and wireless charging, and as I mentioned, these now boast the 3 different sound profiles, pure balance bass, and active noise cancellation alongside awareness mode. Now what that translates to in our world is when I am working in the shop and there's a bunch of noise going on and I want to be on a phone call, all I have to do is throw these suckers in and I can talk hands-free and still work on something while listening to music, podcasts, videos, or taking phone calls. Alongside the classic styling, Raycon kept what was good back then, and we are back to an actual pressable button instead of a touch sensor. Oh, and did I mention that you can now customize your carrying case with protective covers? That's right, if the whole family's smart enough to get on the Raycon train and they all like the same color, worry not, because you guys can customize yours to look different and unique with their everyday carrying case protectors. So if you guys are ready to get back to the classics, click the link in the description below or go to buyraycon.com/JYD for 20% off the fan favorite Raycon Everyday Classic Earbud. Once again, link in the description, buyraycon.com/JYD for 20% off the fan favorite Raycon Everyday Classic Earbud. All right, let's get back to the video. Good morning, folks, and welcome back. Today we're starting off with the 86 up in the air because it is time for us to do some exhaust. We got a little tuning and stuff to do on the motor, but before we do that, as mentioned before, this thing is incredibly loud, so we need to tame that down a bunch, and then we'll be able to run it inside without the cops showing up. Now for an exhaust kit, we do have most of an exhaust kit, and I say most because I just so happen to conveniently find this 80s to 90s Ford F-150 Summit Racing exhaust kit in the scratch and dent section at Summit Racing in Ohio when we were there for Power Tour. So we've got most of a kit here. This is the double exit shotgun style that would bring both of them out over here. I don't really love that. We got a nice V8. We want to hear it on both sides. Now up front, we dug through the scrap section and I found a couple of bends left over from a pipes kit for probably the Bonneville or something. And as you can see, with that ball and socket on that Hedman header, it goes right into place real well and gives us all sorts of adjustability and still seals well. So that should get us right over that trans cross member right away. And then we'll run both tubes right here to our mufflers here and kick the tails out over there. This should be one of the easier exhaust systems we've ever done.
I mean, hopefully. There's plenty of room under here, and we've got the set.
Should we get to it?
I suppose so.
Hell yeah, let's see if we can finish this whole truck today. Yay! No more tractor muffler.
It's different now.
Come on, $10 auction bandsaw, you can do it. Oh no, we can't do it. Okay, so far so good. We've been piecing things together. This is our shortened crossover tube that we're going to use to run both pipes down one side. Alrighty, there's our first piece of super custom exhaust tubing. And not only does this not use any flex pipe for once, but it also fits really well, coming out right where we want it. Alright, let's get this tightened up, start moving back. This is actually going really well for once.
Yeah.
We've got one pipe in entirely. A muffler that we found in the back of the shop, happened to be 2 1/4, worked out well. Got this all in place. Actually looks like we almost know what the hell we're doing for once. This is probably the best exhaust system we've ever made, and we haven't even used flex pipe yet.
They're still young.
Alright, onto the driver's side now. We have a plan for performance and sound.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good X-pipe or an H-pipe. Since our other tube's going to sit right here, we're going to try to drill a hole in both of these and make a little H-pipe out of this. I hope no one ever has to take this exhaust out, because it's going to be all one piece. But
yeah, a nightmare for them, not a problem for us.
Alrighty, things are moving along smoothly onto our performance portion. This is what will become an H-pipe. It looks like crap now, but just wait. Well, maybe don't zoom in on it. Don't let them know. No, I still got some dremeling and shaping to do, but yeah, I'll get this welded on, and then we'll get it all lined up on the truck and get all our forward pipes fitted. There we go. Now that's what we're looking for. Check that out. Allow me to shed a little light on the subject. See, Who's laughing now, huh?
Most muffler shops.
Yeah, rightfully so. Okay, so now I have to drill a hole in this guy. But let's check our fitment. Ta-da! I just cut a hole here, get this guy welded in place, and we have ourselves an H-pipe. Hang a second muffler and build a tailpipe. This looks really good. For a couple of idiots, we've done pretty well. There we go. That went a lot easier than the grinding shit I tried on the other one. Whew. There's what I can only assume is a sealed and finished H-pipe. Check this out. Show off our handy dandy work here. What do you think of that? Yeah.
See how it looks like a letter H? I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, son of a bitch. You would have thought we did that on purpose. There we go. That's all, folks. For, I don't know, a couple $100, we've created an entire exhaust system. I think I paid $90 for all this tubing from Summer Racing, and a bunch of this was in the scrap bucket. Let's see how we did. There's a temporary hanger in place. Look at that. Exhaust. Probably the best we've ever made, too. We say we fire it up and see how it sounds.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do it. Incredibly quiet. Hell yeah. It's actually pretty quiet, but still pretty damn good sounding. Best of all, not that I think it's running on all eight, but to get down here and listen, you can hear both banks of cylinders because of that H pipe. See which cylinders it is, so you can figure it out. Oh, that one. There we go. Look at this blowback today, too. I don't know what's going on here. I bet it's every other cylinder. It means one of our two banks is dead. Yep, sure is. One of our two pilot jets or idle jets or dog legs or something is not providing fuel. We'll figure out if it's the left or the right. Well, yeah, look at that. It's sprayed in just half. The other half of the motor comes back to life. Alright, so that's solved. We just got to figure out why it's doing it. It's good to know it's not a motor issue, not an ignition issue, just that random back shelf carburetor. Who would have guessed? Tacos and then fix that?
Boy, you drive a hard bargain, sir.
Let's do it. Alrighty, we're back from lunch. I have our Summit Racing carburetor off. I'm going to tear into this guy, see what's going on. Every time I dump it out, we get some really dirty fuel. So I bet there's some shit down here in the bowls that we can clean up. Hopefully, get this thing flowing the way it's supposed to. In the meantime, Angus is going to be putting our exhaust hangers on and wrapping up the last little bits and pieces with the exhaust system. And I believe we have new shocks on the way.
Yes, we do, because these ones, not good.
Junk.
Bad junk.
Junk. Yeah, it's time to finally start moving on to issues with the truck itself and make it into a good truck. Now that we finally have an engine that's worth it.
As far as we know. We might put this thing in gear and go, this thing doesn't have any power.
Alrighty, time for our moment of truth. Before I do that, I do want to mention I have absolutely no idea where this carburetor came from. Maybe somebody gave it to us. If you're that person, thank you. I really don't know where I got it, but it's been on the shelf for a while, and it seems to be complete. Holy shit. I think I might know why it was taken off. That is a lot of corrosion. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. As you can see, I've got the back half of our carburetor clean. It looks much different. All clean and shiny. Not so clean and shiny. Well, shit. Figured out our problem. As you may notice, this guy here is missing a little something. Specifically the entire end of the needle screw for the idle mixture. I'll see if I can get that out. I don't know. Alright, exhaust is now fully finished. We got our hangers and everything in. It's all buttoned up, looking good. Angus is ripping our shocks off. Never hell there, son.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Well, that's part of that now.
Meanwhile, up front, I've unfortunately had to scrap the Summit carburetor. Literally, it's for parts now. I could not get the tip of that idle adjustment screw out, but I've scavenged through the used carburetor shelf and found this. This is a Holley 4-barrel of some sort. Looks pretty clean. Got some newer vacuum caps and stuff on it. I don't know if I've ever ran it. I have no idea. I'm sure we'll find out soon when we put it on there and fuel sprays everywhere and I wind up rebuilding this. But until then, cross your fingers. Let's see what happens. Last one.
Yep, it's a shocking revelation, but these all came out really nicely.
Tennessee truck. The thing's very clean. And now, finally, it's starting to look better too, because while Angus was doing all these shocks, I went and stuck the racetrack trim that's probably been bothering everyone a whole bunch in the comments back on. Now we just need to find ourselves some 90s Ford rims and this will look good again. All right, there we go. Our new carburetor's in place. I don't know if this one's any good, but it's different. What's your bets on how high the fuel geyser goes when the kneeling seat sticks?
A little higher than where your hand was.
Here?
Yeah, a little higher.
I'm gonna say here. That's you're ambitious. All right, fill the bowls up. All right. Oh, we got a accelerator pump. Go ahead. Serpentine belt sounds weird. Seems to actually run really good. We're down to the last little bits and pieces here. Let's get some timing in this and go for a drive. Wonder how it sounds now that it's on all eight. Do a little tuning here. Full closed on both idle screws and it's still running. We got a bad power valve, which no surprise. This has been sitting for God knows how long. I'll give them a half turn, which is usually way too lean. That power valve's letting a lot of fuel in. You can hear it sound bad right now. The carburetor that's been sitting around the shelf, pretty good. 17 initial, that's pretty good. You can see the paint on our headers is getting hot now. I think let's go ahead and shut her down. Dude, look at this. It's only taken 2 tries and a ton of work, but we finally have ourselves a good 302 in this truck. And seemingly, it seems to be a very good 302 in this truck. Let's zip tie some plug wires and stuff up out of the way and go for a test drive. Whoever said boat motors made bad truck motors? Same thing.
I don't know.
I'm sure that was fine. There we go. If you bump started after stalling it, you technically never stalled it, right? Oh, this is way better than the other motors we've had in here.
God, this thing feels like a rocket ship already.
Yeah.
It's not a rocket ship.
We might have made something phenomenal. This is a 4-speed overdrive with like a 270 something rear end, 280 rear end, I don't know. It was real turd-like. What do you say we turn to Topeka?
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
shoot, I almost forgot we had to go to Topeka.
Oh, we gotta go get that
Gotta
motor.
go get the motor.
Definitely still in Topeka.
Absolutely, yes.
Definitely not. Oh, the clutch just went to the floor.
Oh, that's bad.
I have lost all clutch. Every little bit of it. Why did that just happen?
I have a guess.
What's that?
We might have not checked where our clutch line went and roasted it on the headers.
I bet you're right. Let's see if I can get it in first. I can. Okay, we'll follow that cop back to the shop. This was supposed to be a trip around the block. I forgot that part.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
we're a mile outside. Well, we better see how fast it is. Look, we're winning. Dude, that's really good. Whoever said a boat motor would not make a good car motor was wrong. It's a perfect truck engine. They're both designed to make a ton of torque and live in the torque band. All right, let's get this thing back into the shop and figure out what's wrong with our clutch, fix the power valve and our carburetor, get it running real nice, put a hood on,
Oh, yeah.
and then go for an actual drive somewhere. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. So, as you can see, that right there is our plastic slave cylinder with a plastic hydraulic line running into it, and it's touching the header, and thusly has melted. So, to fix that, we've gone on O'Reilly's website and ordered this, a steel braided clutch line, and an aluminum slave cylinder. Hopefully we'll be able to clock this difference so that hose doesn't come out straight up into the header. We can make it come out the side, and then we can use that metal line to go in there and help resist all the heat down there. A little bit of exhaust header wrap or plug wire loom wrap on there won't be a bad idea either, so we'll see if we got any of that laying around. Yep. Unfortunately, that's not going to be here until noon though, so in the meantime, let's pull that old carburetor off, put a new power valve in it, and get this thing idling really nice. It actually ran really good, but as I mentioned yesterday, I think the power valve's blown, so let's go ahead and fix it. Ready to begin. Alright, getting into our carb here. Someone's been in here. Maybe it was me, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But it's got updated seals. It's got the plastic seals on the front of the screws. Nice gaskets. Very, very clean inside. No wonder it ran so good. Let's pop this pipe up here. Power valve looks fine actually. It's a little wet, but not really in there. Interesting. Alright, well, I found particularly nothing wrong with this carburetor. In fact, all the internals are new, as we saw, and look great. I've cleaned it up the best I can, made it shiny on the outside as well, and we're going to chalk this up to what was likely a float level issue, put it back on the truck, and try to dial in our needle and seats on each side, and hopefully that'll take care of everything. Meanwhile, Angus is digging around in the interior. What are you looking for there, sir?
I'm looking for the wires that go to the tachometer.
Yeah, our tachometer is currently set in 6-cylinder mode.
Yep. According to everything I've read, what we need to do is add one ground wire to the tach, which might already exist on the tach. And if we ground that, it'll bypass the 6-cylinder mode, and we should get an accurate reading from our 8-cylinder engine now.
Alright, carburetor's back on. Angus has made a revelation.
I have. If I just would have read the forum, I would know that there's a plug coming out of the main harness with a black and a green wire. Green wire goes to our tach, and there is, for 6 cylinders, just a green wire coming out of this plug. I simply need to tap into this black wire and add a ground to this guy.
So we just gotta ground this?
Yep,
and
we just gotta ground that.
then our tach's gonna read correctly.
I'm led to believe, yes.
That is incredibly convenient.
I agree.
Thank you, Ford. You do that, and then we'll fire this sucker up and get a little tuning on our float heights and everything and get this running good. Alright, you ready, Goose?
Ready.
Alright, we've got everything hooked up here. Should be good to go. I'm gonna try to dial in our float heights on this one, and hopefully that'll make our carburetor idle better. It actually ran out great, just didn't love idling. It wasn't bad. It was better than anything else we've had. Set. Seems a little happier already. It's also coming up to temp, which is where you want to tune, but you can do your needle and seat cold. It's a little high on the front. That's not so. Alright, flow heights are set. We can roll that out. Let's start messing with our mixer screws and such. Ah, damn it. Still getting too much fuel from somewhere. That's all the way closed, and that's all the way closed. This shouldn't even be able to run. Everything looks perfect. Don't have any fuel leaking in it. Why is it still running with the needle closed? I got a little bit of an accelerator pump leak, but besides that, this thing's running pretty damn good. There is still fuel getting into the engine somewhere it shouldn't be. I don't know where. It seems that I can make a band-aid by closing the idle circuits pretty much all the way down, and it seems happy, which is not what you're supposed to do. But hey, for the end of this video, until I have time to really go through that carburetor, yeah, this will work. Let's put a hood on this thing, put some Junkyard Digs stickers on the back window, and go for a rip. What do you say? Okay. Oh, and fix the clutch. Never mind. Let's wait for the clutch to show up, and then do all that. I suppose I can put the stickers on now. Obviously feeling the original, that's got to go on. It's a proven sticker, you know, reliability. And for that extra kick, what do you think? It's not fixed, it's different, or certified different? You know what, I'm going to go with the it's not fixed, it's different, because that carburetor's still rocking a Band-Aid right now. There we go, guaranteed to get you home. It might be broken, but you can limp it home. And for the classic dose of immortality. All right, there we go. Stickers are in place. This thing is now deemed immortal. If you guys want to check these out for yourself, check out the stickers, hats, koozies, t-shirts, sweatshirts, everything on junkyarddigs.com. Actually, alongside that Junkyard Digs sticker, there's one last thing I need to do. Yeah, hell yeah. Powered by Mercury, 188 horsepower. Parts have arrived. As you can see, this is our aluminum slave cylinder. Gonna hold up to the heat a lot better. And our steel braided brake line. Now, alongside this, we're also gonna try to trim off these tabs right here. These alignment tabs, and rotate this 90 degrees to get that away from the header. Try to find a way to get that to stay in there without spinning, maybe a little RTV or something. And we're hoping that will be enough clearance to keep the heat off that. We might have to do a little shaving here or dent the header as well. So as you can see, it ever so slightly touched here, but quite greatly touched there.
Big much right there.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get that in place, and then that should be about it.
All right, we got our new slave cylinder installed. New hose is on as well. We're on to bleeding up the slave cylinder now, and hopefully it just works. I was able to clock the new slave so that it doesn't interfere with the header. Did a little bit of hammering on the header just to make extra sure it'll be fine. But yeah, let's get this bled up, and then it is for sure, maybe, probably test drive time. Hey, that feels like a clutch. Clutch is all bled up. It seems to be working. We don't have any leaks. Our fluid's topped off. I think we're good to go on our test drive. So let's get Kevin out of the office and let's go.
Alrighty. Wonder that one does count as a stall. There might still be a little tuning that needs done yet. Still better than 5 or 4 or whatever we would have had in the past at any point in time. Look at this. Tachometer works properly.
Hey, look at you.
Seems much less over-enthused as it was before. Might need to turn the idle up a little. It's at 500. Bah! It does the classic drops half the cylinders when you stumble it. Oh, did we ever verify if this was getting 12 volts to the coil?
No, probably might not be.
It's only 9. This is all stuff to fix after we wrap. That and the fuel gauge, which still doesn't work. Oh, dude, this is so much more drivable. Things the 300 would never do.
Go.
Accelerate. Yeah. All right, let's get this thing out of town and see how she does. Open her up finally.
Hell yeah.
Ready to see what she'll do?
Yeah.
Here we go. Third gear, on its face. The longest gear. So let me grab fourth. Oh, look at this. 55 at 1500. That is the worst rear gear ratio we've probably ever had. This thing needs like a 325 rear or something. No, I got that 373 Posi Explorer 8.8 laying around.
Twist this thing into a pretzel.
Maybe. It probably would just wheel hop itself apart. And we're not about to do that much work. She needs a few things yet, but she's what I would call now very marketable.
Yes, very marketable.
And in other words, it's close to being quite good. See how she does in merging. Yep. Hell yeah. That's really good. But we're doing 70 at 70. I don't know if I can get it up to 70. There's a slight hill. This needs like a 460 to hold this gear ratio. Here we go. 70 at, I want to say 1800, 1900. Stupid. All right. The big test. 0 to 60. You ready?
I'm ready.
Survey says 9.68 seconds. I do believe we picked up like another 3 seconds again. I think we were in the 11s last time with most of a 302. That is an improvement.
It is indeed.
And again, we have like a 240 rear axle. Well, I suppose that leaves like one last question.
I love this question.
Will it do a burnout?
Oh no.
We shook hard enough that something on our exhaust, one of the mufflers fell off. Now you can really hear the H pipe. So, yeah, it'll do a burnout. My God, it'll do a burnout. Still a few things that this truck needs to be perfect, but for now, I'd say we call this good. We finally have ourselves a running and driving pickup that's got a good boat motor in it. And everybody loves a good boat motor. You definitely needed louder mufflers, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those off-the-shelf free came with the Cougar mufflers were too quiet. We're taking fire. And it's dead.
Cool.
It just shut off hard. Like, no more ignition.
Huh.
Alright, well. Should we figure out what that was?
I guess we should. It's gonna be a long walk home if we don't.
I bet one of our coil wires or something came out.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably right.
That was way too sudden. She shifts out at 55 though, which is pretty good for a $400 motor.
Oh,
Oh,
not again.
we keep doing this, and that keeps happening. Man.
Oh.
Huh. I'm gonna go on a limb and say something in here got wet. That wasn't the heater core leaking, that was the firewall leaking.
What blew up?
You're not telling me that the 5,500 RPM burnout or anything was related to this, right?
I'm not saying it. I have no guesses as of right now. Jesus.
Oh, that's wet. Oh, I found it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not what you want, huh?
Problematic, that's what that is.
Alright, well, I'll tell you what. There's always a little work left to be done when the camera shuts off, and today is no different. Thank you guys very much for joining us on another episode here with the 86. I'd like to say this is the last one, and I'd like to sell this thing, so if someone wants to bring me $4,500 for a nice truck with a pretty decent motor, you let me know. Otherwise, who knows? We may see this again someday. I doubt it, because this probably isn't going to get a ton of views to justify our time on this one, and I'm sick of working on this thing. But if you subscribe, you might just find out. Otherwise, again, if you want to buy it, junkyarddigs1@gmail.com. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode. Check out our merch, junkyarddigs.com. We'll see you right here next week for another one. Peace of decent Tennessee metal.
I'm not a fan of the rubber though.
Yeah, you got any hoses in your back pocket?
It's weird that you ask because no.
Oh, actually, you have a Leatherman.
I do.
There's extra hose there. We can just cut it shorter.
Oh, easy peasy.
Yeah, you got to pee? We got to fill the radiator back up.
Oh, I'll think about it.